how'd you get started like throwing raves? Like,
I mean, well,
that's a crazy business.
Yes, it's definitely not a normal thing to get into, or like,
because you're hosting them, right?
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. I mean, throwing like warehouse raves in LA isn't that sustainable, but it's really fun, and like it definitely helps, like, you know, support the underground scene, which is really important to me.
Realest podcast on the planet, JNP.
3, 2, back in the house. B. Hayes, bless us
up?
with his presence. One of my favorite talent writers I've had yet. I was like, yo, what do you want to sip? Hits me with the, let's get some red wine and bread.
No cheese.
I was
just bread.
So here for that. And we smacked half a loaf. Cheers.
Well,
Thanks for coming,
cheers,
bro. I really
man.
appreciate you.
Of course, dude.
So we were talking a bit before, but like we have so many mutual friends, but we've never actually met.
The thing is, we definitely met at some point. It definitely was like an impassing dark room, like crazy, like yo, what's up? And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, never like a good like quality conversation.
No. And we just chopped it up a little bit,
which was good.
Yeah,
which
man.
We needed.
It's
for
been
sure.
great. But I think I met you at one of your raves. Is that?
Yeah.
I think that's the time
so.
I actually like we met in passing. I was
that was crazy. Those parties are always like I'm talking to 1,900 people every night. It's like
because you're hosting them, right? Or you don't do that as much anymore. You said
not. Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. I mean, throwing like warehouse raves in LA isn't that sustainable, but it's really fun, and like it definitely helps, like, you know, support the underground scene, which is really important to me. So
how'd you get started like throwing raves? Like,
I mean, well,
that's a crazy business.
Yes, it's definitely not a normal thing to get into, or like, but I think it started when I went to school in Chicago, and I found out kind of like that dance music was like goes beyond like EDM and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm allowed to curse, right?
Yeah. Oh, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like I just figured out that I was like, okay, like there's a scene here that has like a bunch of history, because the Chicago house scene is like
in Chicago. You said
yes, like Chicago, Detroit. That's where like house and techno started. So like
see, this is all news to me.
Oh yeah, like like what's that like latest like Kanye record that sampled Hard Drive. That's like that I can't remember the name of the Kanye song, but it's like
is it off a new like a leak?
It was off of Life of Pablo.
Life of Pablo?
It was like that big I can't remember the name of it, but like there's so many people that have used these like 1980s 1990s like Chicago dance records in like 2010 music, but no one understands that that's where it came from, kind of thing.
I had no idea.
And yeah, I mean, there's like a huge history of that, and so I kind of like met some of these older guys. Like there's like this record store on the north side called Gramophone Records, and that was kind of, you know, like the hub of like the music knowledge and like what you would like learn, and like you would trade records with friends and buy new stuff, and like it was just like a whole new world to me. I was like, this is fucking cool as hell. Like I want to learn more about this. So I just like went in like face first, just like trying to figure out like how to fucking navigate it and like how to figure it out. I met some cool people, and then I started to like buying records, and then eventually DJing, and I learned how to DJ on vinyl. So it was like all like to buy or to DJ new songs, you would have to buy new shit. So like everyone was always trying to buy the hottest like 12-inch that you could find. Like,
wait, so you learned how to DJ on vinyl?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
in the 2010s.
I mean, this is like 2014, 2015.
That's crazy. Learn how to DJ on a vinyl.
Well, yeah, that was. I mean, yeah, that was the only way I like DJ'd for a minute, and I remember DJing in high school with my friend Cooper, but we just did it off like laptops and stuff, and people just like asked us to do it because we were like the kids that liked music the most, I guess. And then when it came to like properly playing out in Chicago, it was like I was like super focused. Like I wouldn't even like go out and like feel like I would like drink or something. Like I was like so focused on like the craft of it, and like so dedicated to it, and like everyone around me, like all like my friends that were like so addicted to it, and they're still out there. They're still fucking every day, you know, chilling, like doing like bar gigs, throwing raves. So then I was like, then that was where I first started throwing parties in Chicago. And
Was those like warehouse parties too? Or?
yeah, well, I was living in a warehouse, which was like not tight.
That's fucking crazy.
Yes, so like,
Wait, so you went to college out there though?
yeah, I went to an art school called Columbia College.
Okay. And
Right
did you have
out
any
of-
idea like you wanted to do music stuff or?
Yeah, well, I went
Okay.
for music production
Okay, so
and business.
obviously.
So that was kind of like, I didn't really know if I wanted to go to college. I was like kind of like hinting. I was like, damn, I think I want to stay in LA, but I was
Yeah.
also like, I really don't want to stay in LA. Like
Yeah.
I was like I don't know if I want to go to college, but I definitely want to get out of the city. And then I just kind of went to Chicago because I was like the coolest school that me and my friend Cooper visited. We went to
Yeah.
school together,
That's sick.
which was tight. And then we were like, all right, we're gonna DJ together. And yeah, we kind of were just like doing everything together, like hand in hand. And yeah, we just got like fell in love with the city, like stayed in the city. I stayed there for like 3 years, and it was
Damn.
incredible.
Did you finish out school or were you
Nah,
kinda over it
I
and said,
mean,
fuck it?
after the second year, they tripled the tuition at the school, so it was just kind of.
How was that even legal?
I don't know. It was messed up, but a bunch of my friends left. Like it was kind of one of those schools where it was an art school where you didn't really need to stay to get what you needed. Like my teacher, that was my music production teacher, who was a DJ at the club that I ended up working at called Smart Bar in the North Side.
So you made that connection.
Yeah, so, and it was so crazy. Like it was like the third week of class, and he's like a techno DJ, so he like didn't really give a fuck about details, didn't really care about anyone's name. He was like just trying to teach us like Ableton basically. And then finally he learned my name. He's like, wait, are you Margaret Bradley's son? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I know your mom. Like, we used to date. Because my mom used to live in Chicago and would go to Smart Bar. She was like a goth techno person, like in Chicago. Like,
What a small world.
crazy. Like, so small. I started calling my mom, like, do you know Jeff Derringer? She's like, yeah. Like, what? And I'm like, that's my teacher. And so then he ended up just like fucking with me heavy.
Great,
and then he was like, yo, like there's this like internship at this club. Like, do you want to try it out? I'm like, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it was like the club that like you couldn't get into, like that you had to be 21 to go to. It was like all the coolest DJs and like artists were playing there, and all the coolest people were going there. So it was like one of those things where like I wanted to go to that club so bad. And I ended up working there as like a production assistant, and I would have to be in the club from like 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. to like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to leave because I wasn't 21 yet. So I'd just like live in the club like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it was crazy. And all through this guy, Jeff, he ended up leaving, but I stayed there for, like a year and a half. And that's definitely where I was like started like really like taking like DJing and dance music a little bit more seriously.
Got it.
And that's kind of where like I started throwing parties through like the people that were going to that club, and then like the label was kind of born out of that too. So
The label. We got to touch on that now. I like that. Yeah.
like a segue.
Yeah, that's a smooth little. So the label. So you started a label now.
That was okay. Yeah, so that was the next step, because all of the guys that I was DJing with, like my friend Alejandro Zera, this guy Garrett David, Zach Kidd, all these kids had labels, and they would put out like friends' music in the city and like other people from other countries, because we were always like connected.
So you start a label and then you put out other people's music through it.
So
that's how it works.
Yeah. So I basically was like a bunch of my friends were sitting on tracks that they just made for fun, and I was like, okay, like this is like these tracks are really fucking
hard.
sick. like I would love for these to be heard by other people. And like, oh yeah, I don't really want to throw it up on like SoundCloud. I don't want to, throw it up on YouTube. Just do nothing with it.
Okay.
So we kind of made like a project around it. We controlled the creative vibe for it, and like controlled how it was going to be released, what it was going to be released with, like what stores you could buy it in. So we started off with making a cassette tape, And so it was a 9-track cassette tape.
What year was this?
2016
I
or
love
no,
it.
15. Yeah.
2016 cassette tape.
That was the shit. Like you would buy compilations on cassette tapes, and people would buy it. Like that shit sold out within like 2 weeks, and like that was just because it caught wind online. But like, it was tight.
Like how many did you make? How many cassette tapes?
500.
And they just flew off
On Bandcamp, dude. It was crazy.
That's
it was
crazy.
Cool. And I was like, okay, like that was really fun. That was really dope. And we ended up getting like some attention from this label overseas, and it was called like Lobster Theremin. So they picked up our distribution and stuff. Damn. And they started doing our distribution, because after that you kind of like graduate to vinyl. Like you don't want to keep doing cassettes unless you're a cassette label.
Got it.
There's just like niche indie dance music shit. Like,
I don't know any of this.
all of this like kind of like the norm of like starting a cassette label. And then like there's so many labels now that I know that like started off the way this did.
So how hard was it to start a label?
Not that hard.
It sounds hard.
It's not that hard. You just kind of have to have like cool, loving, talented people around you, and people that like want to support you. Like everyone that did it, like I wasn't giving them like fucking deals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was like I want to put out this music. I'm a one-man team.
Yeah.
Like I have like this much like money after we sell it, and like that's kind of it, you know? Like I wasn't like promising these guys like a bunch of money.
I got it.
Yeah, but we ended up throwing like label showcases and like doing parties off the label. So it was kind of like ended up being like a whole like kind of vibe, like community.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it's still going. So
and that started, but that was all in Chicago at this point.
That was in Chicago, and then when like I left school, I was like, what am I gonna do next? Because I didn't want to be like kind of floating. And I still wanted to go to school. I was like bummed that I couldn't go to school anymore. Like I wasn't like stoked to drop out. Like it wasn't something that was in my plan. Like I wanted to graduate from Columbia for sure, but the tuition got crazy, and then I ended up moving to Philly. After because my dad he was a teacher there, and we ended up like reconnecting after like a bunch of years, and then. Like ended up moving to Philly, and that's kind of where the label took like the next like steps. Like I met a bunch of really incredible artists and DJs there, and we ended up putting a couple records out in Philly with like Philly local talent as well, so which was really cool.
So yeah. Damn, bro, that's crazy. So that community's strong though, right?
The like Philly community is very small. Yeah. It's like you would go to parties and people would throw parties, and it would be like the same like 100 people every time. But like I kind of was like,
it's small but it's strong.
Very strong. Yeah. But very small. But like it's really close to New York, so that I really like being on the East Coast where I could like bounce around, and like I was going to New York a lot, and I had a bunch of friends in New York, and so I was just like kind of going up there like almost like every other weekend sometimes. Like I was like rarely in Philly. I was only in Philly when I was like doing like school or like throwing a party or something. Got
it. But so you still like make your own music though, right? And so do you do that on? Oh, you could take a bigger drink if you want. I know you've been talking a lot, but So my question was no, I forgot. Oh shit. So you make your music on Ableton, or how do you? So you learn on Ableton, and how do you do it now? Because I always hear Ableton or Logic or...
Yeah, I mean, I've always stuck with Ableton. That's just because what I've known. But my friend...
These are all music software programs for people that don't know. Yeah.
I mean, Ableton's like a music... It's called a DAW, a digital something interface. But my friend Gus, he uses Logic. So like we did a record, and like we kind of like use both. So you can like use everything.
Yeah,
If you bounce it to like... just like audio tracks, you can like put it anywhere. You could make a song on GarageBand if you wanted to.
But then do you put it on a vinyl? I think I'm missing a step, because you said you DJ off vinyl.
Well, so the way to press vinyl is you go to a manufacturer, and they burn a dub plate, which is basically like a blueprint of the vinyl, and it's basically like if your handprint was like specific and you put it in concrete, and then you can make like a bunch of different like hands basically from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
So like the dub plate it like mushes the wax, and then that's how the vinyl's cut. And then so the dub plate's the most expensive part to make, but pressing a record is like $2-3.
How much does a dub plate cost?
Like $1,000.
Fuck.
Yeah. So like
crazy,
so doing larger runs of a release is smarter than like, because if you're gonna press 300 records, you know, you might as well do 500 or 1,000 or 750, because it's like just a couple hundred bucks more.
The dub plates
rather than
a rack. Yeah.
So it's like, but like the music has to be good, because you don't want to be sitting around with 500 dusty old records 6 months after you put it out.
Exactly.
So it's like it's all hard, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. So why are you drawn to house music?
I think I was always in dance music, even when I was little. Like, I think I was talking to my brothers about this. So like my mom taught aerobics. We used to live in Washington D.C. like way back in the day.
You've been everywhere.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was born in Philly, and then we like moved to New York and Pittsburgh, but then I grew up in LA. But like, that's a whole another thing. I feel like we skipped that already.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah.
But
we got a long time.
True. My mom was like taught aerobics, which is like 140 BPM like gabber music. It was like doo, doo, doo. And so like I would sit there when I was like fucking 2 years old, just like watching my mom do aerobics like every day. So like I think then, but she also loved that music. Like she listened to like New Order, Depeche Mode, Joy Division, then all the way to like the Dead Boys, like the Clash, all like the crazy punk shit, and then like super gnarly industrial like Nitzer Ebb, like fucking insane German music. But like that was kind of all the stuff we grew up on. So like in high school, when I was like meeting like all like my new friends in high school, like I was always being like, I was listening to this shit, and they're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you're not listening to the new Drake album? I'm like, no. But then I did listen to like you know, Kendrick and fucking all like the cool LA stuff. But I definitely was like I felt somewhat outcasted in ways, because I always was into dance music kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's definitely not like, at least like there's like a whole negative connotation behind it, where like the general population thinks it's just like a bunch of kids eating their faces off on MDMA, you know? Like,
and it's not that.
No, it's actually like super. It's like, I think in my opinion, some of the most respectful music there is like out, maybe just because everyone like people that are really into it take it so fucking seriously, and that's one reason why I think I've like started other like imprints to put out other music, just because like it's gotten so serious in some parts that I'm just like was turned off by it after being like really deep in it, kind of thing. Okay,
so what do you like branching off to then? Because I think it's cool that, because if you're making like house music, then you love it, you know? Because like a lot of people are rapping now to like, oh, like I want to blow up. Like, I want to be the next Lil Nas X.
If you're doing like dance music because you love it, because you're not making any fucking money off it. Like, you're not making a dime off it. And you're literally strictly doing it because you like doing it. Like, that's it. And that's why anyone does it. So, I mean, there's like the few like underground DJs that end up graduating to like kind of like a mainstream world. But like that's only really happened in the past couple of years with social media. But yeah, I mean, it's just like a really respectful, like serious form of music, which
almost too serious, you were saying.
Yeah, it's gotten a little pretentious in my opinion. In some,
like what makes it pretentious? Would you say?
Just people take it take it too seriously, because at the end of the day, dance music is supposed to be fun and like to relax. But
more wine?
Yeah, thank you.
Let's pour up, baby.
But like some scenes like in New York, like people take that shit like so fucking seriously, and just like it's like, dude, like at the end of the day, like just like we're just DJs,
Yeah.
like making people dance at a club.
It's supposed to be
like
fun.
they like the root of it should be fun, but like I respect taking it seriously. But when it's like you're being like a fucking asshole to people, like that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like
No. So you branched out from it a bit, you said.
yeah, and that's why, at least when I was like in Philly, I feel like and like started kicking it with like people that were kind of into the more like indie scene and like doing like alternative music. Like I like the label that we started under, These Things Take Time, and passing with my friend Gus, who makes like indie kind of alternative music, and we met in Philly and we ended up like living together, and he's like one of my close friends, but we started a label putting out like more dance leaning stuff, but it's still like to the core like indie, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like alternative pop stuff, but like to the core as like a 4 on the floor dance beat, I guess.
Got it. So you started a label under your other label, right?
Yeah. It's technically like a sub label, but it's acting as like its own like little wing of it.
That's crazy. How old are you?
23.
Yeah, you're moving for 23. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's I feel like I've just have been I don't know, like in an adult world longer, so like it's just been like quicker, I guess. Or, like I've been able to like get cover a little bit more ground than like my brother per se. Like he just graduated school, and like I'm having him get involved in a bunch of this stuff, but he was in Boulder for 4 years. Like what can he do in Boulder?
Yeah,
except tough. But like he killed it. Like he graduated college with a philosophy degree. Like that's fucking sick as hell.
Sure.
You know? But yeah, like they're just like, I think I was just able to cover more ground because I was in a different situation.
Yeah, and you knew what you wanted to do when you were
like
right when you got there.
Right when I got there, I knew it was like, I was like, this is kind of like the road I'm gonna take.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And then so how did you link up with Gus Dapperton, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, Gus.
Yeah, how'd you link up with him?
Actually through a good friend, Kevin Lombardo, who makes...
No way.
Yeah, you know
I love you, Kev.
Yeah. Shout out Kevin.
Dude, I love Kevin, dude. That's such a good dude.
Yeah, Kevin's been like... Kevin was my first friend in Los Angeles, like, believe it or not. Because we went to the same grade school. And he was like, I like got there, like... We straight off the plane from like, I think we were living in Pittsburgh before, and I was in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, and I just like met Kevin, and we just like became best boys. We ended up going to high school together. We're still like, he's like one of my brothers, you know, like he was an only child, so he was like one of us.
Yeah.
But Kevin was living in New York at the time, and he was like, yo, Hayes, like you gotta meet this kid, like. His name's Brendan. You gotta meet this kid, Brendan, because this is before Gus was really making music under Gus.
Oh, that's crazy.
So you gotta meet Brendan. I'm like, all right, word. Like he's making this music. Like we're doing like a whole like visual thing. This kid, and I was like, all right, cool. And we just basically met at like, I think we met at like a swap meet or something at like a flea market, and we both were just like, yo, what's up? We kicked it for a little, and like. I remember hating him because he kept calling me John Mayer. Like he kept like.
Now that you mention it, I kind of see it.
He kept making fun of it, and like we always talk about this story too, like how much I fucking hated him like in the beginning because he kept calling me John Mayer, and I was like, I was probably like hungover in a bad mood or something. I was like, dude, like who is this stranger fucking calling me John Mayer?
That's kind of a compliment though. No,
it was in a negative
digging at you
for sure. It wasn't I don't know, maybe in his head it was positive, but we ended up just like squashing it, and like we both realized we lived in Philly, and like that was when I just moved to Philadelphia. It was like the second weekend I was in New York, and I was like, why the fuck do you live in Philly? Like no one lives in Philly. And he was like, I mean, I go to Drexel because I was going to Temple at the time.
Yeah.
And then we ended up just like posting like every weekend in Philly because like there's like nothing to do there. There's not a lot to do there. I mean, it's like a great town for like food and stuff, but like there's.
I've never been out there.
It's cool. I like my friends that I look back on.
Yeah.
Like I still talk to a bunch of guys out there, but like if you just go and you're like, all right, I'm gonna figure it out when I get there. it's like a fucking
It's
desolate small town.
Yeah.
It feels like for me, because I feel like I was I don't know, Chicago felt so big.
Yeah.
You know, and it was
I love Chicago.
Yeah, and I went to Philly and it just felt really small. I was probably being a fucking big city asshole, but it definitely smelled small.
Yeah. Yeah. So you and Gus just put out like was that an EP? Is that a?
Yeah, we just put out an EP. It was like a split project thing, and we've been talking about putting that out for like a while. We've had that music done for a long time.
Really?
So we were finally like stoked to get it out. But it was like he just got off tour, and like the album, he just put out a really incredible project at the beginning of this year, and in like April, and the album kind of like was like able to like chill out for a second, and we're like, okay, it's like time to put out a new project.
Yeah.
We didn't want to like step on any of that,
right?
Because it was a debut album, so it was really special. So
yeah, that's amazing. So is your end goal to be like a big DJ or where? Like,
nah, I mean, I've realized that was kind of like that was like a cool period of my life, and like we still like DJ from time to time. It's still really fun, but yeah, I think if there was to be an end goal, was just to be like running an imprint that I just like had creative control over.
Damn, that's sick. That's so different than what most people want from that kind of industry, you know?
I mean, yeah, the music industry is pretty fucked up. So like I don't think that's like extremely unrealistic. I think I've, at least for right now, I may have taken the right steps to like get to where I'm like should be, but like, I mean, there's always shit that goes wrong and always stuff that like happens. So, I mean, for right now, everything's great.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro. So what didn't you like about the whole DJ process? Like that whole warehouse life was just draining,
draining, and like, I mean, not a lot of people like it. Like
really?
What I've realized is like day in, day out, like going out super late, like being around, like going to clubs, like being around super loud music. I was like, I feel like in tune with it. Like for me, like having a conversation like this or being in a dark club where the music's so loud you can't even like hear yourself speak.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was the same thing. Like I felt like it was like the same vibe. But like obviously a lot of people don't think that way or like feel that way.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. I just feel like people get like sometimes stressed when they're in the club, or like they don't.
Okay.
They don't like, or
I got you.
They like feel different or like act differently when they're in like a dark space with strangers. And I just always felt comfortable with it, just because I did it for so long. I feel like I just got like accustomed to it.
Yeah, you said you were living in one back in Chicago, right?
Yeah, like we would throw fucking parties in there, and I'd go to sleep like while the music was still playing. It's fucked up.
That's crazy.
And we did that in Philly, like and Gus and I and my other friend Andre. Shout out DJ Dre. We all lived in that, and we throw parties. We throw parties to make rent. So like, damn. It was like that kind of shit.
So how does that work? You just charge at the door, and then like, or you like put a flyer out,
bar, door, book DJs. It's like setting up a club.
But you're basically an entrepreneur. Like at that point.
But yeah, I mean that was that was the goal. I don't think it made shit tons of money, but like there was definitely there was like, we had good nights for sure.
Yeah. Did you look back on that time like fondly, or are you?
For sure. I love that.
Like you probably needed that, right? Like get out of your system if nothing else.
It was, and then that whole period, and then I don't even think I told you this yet, but I ended up living in Berlin for like 8 months after the whole Philly thing.
Fucking
sick.
So
those three, I think Chicago, Philly, and Berlin were like good like come ups, and then like LA, moving back home and like working here. It was like the come down.
Wait, how'd you end up in Berlin?
That was through the first.
You've seen a lot for 23.
Yeah. Because I left school, I feel like that was like the so I feel like for anyone that has like doubts about like where they're at, if school isn't like the end goal, like if you're not trying to be like a doctor or a lawyer or like or if you just want it for your personal self, like
Yeah.
I think my brother wanted his philosophy degree for himself, which is like really
The most
fucking
important
cool.
thing,
So
yeah.
like if you want it for yourself, but you can't. I see so many like friends from high school that come out and like are like, all right, now it's like I should have a job now.
Yeah.
But you know, they just
Honestly.
like they were just kind of like coasting and got like some like history degree or something.
Yeah.
No shade on history
Yeah.
degrees, but like they like it just
They had no
doesn't
purpose
really-
for being in school.
It just
yeah.
doesn't really correlate to like the real world.
No,
So like
not
you
at all.
can't like get mad at like wasting that time or like the I don't know. I don't really know where I was trying to go with that, but like,
No,
I just felt
I like it,
just
though.
felt that way. Like I am grateful for leaving school.
Like
a
that's
little
cool.
bit.
That's so cool that you knew what you want to do though from such a young age, and then you like I feel like when you want something like that, like shit just connects. You
Yeah,
know? Like
I mean,
you met that teacher that dated your mom, and then he like
that was
got
that
you in
there
the
was
club.
like there's like definitely like
You
4
know?
or 5 moments that I look back on in the past like 4 years that I'm like that's crazy that happened, and then it
Yeah.
kind of like rolled into like another thing that happened, and then yeah, I mean like the fact that I moved back to LA like is fucked up. Like that like I would have never ever thought that I would have moved back.
fucked
home.
up.
I just like when I left LA after high school, I was like, I never want to come back. Like that was also a goal of mine, was to never come
Never
back.
come
to LA.
back.
I'm not even kidding you. Like all of my close friends are like, I'm just the most surprised that like you ended up moving back here.
But you probably see it way different now that you like.
Oh yeah, I see it like cheesy, but like kind of like fate in like some aspects. Like it was
Yeah,
like
for sure.
definitely like a full circle moment, you know.
Yeah.
Which was tight. Which is tight. Still happening, yeah.
So back to Berlin for a second. Like, how'd you end up out there? What'd you do out there?
That was like
I feel like
yeah,
you would fuck with Europe heavy too.
Oh, I mean, that was another like goal where I was like, all right, like that's like I wanted to move there because like that's like and also where like kind of modern dance music is, like Chicago and Detroit, where like the older scenes where it was like originated, and that's where it started. But like the I guess the Mecca is what they call it. It's like all these fucking freako techno kids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they live in Berlin, and there was a label in London that was picking us up through distribution, and they also had a base in Berlin, and like so I ended up going there with a friend of mine who was studying there, but I just moved there for work stuff.
Got it.
And so I was kind of like working and like
what kind of
playing
work?
out.
Are you DJing?
Basically, just like I wanted to go to like be like the face of the label and like be able to like be in contact with the distributor and like run the
so
record
sick,
out of
yeah.
run the label out of Berlin, basically.
Yeah.
And you know, like doing like DJing parties and throwing parties there. Like there's so many like important people in the dance music world that go out so often
Yeah.
and will go to your party and be like they'll like help you, and then like you'll like collaborate with other people. So it was like it's just like moving to like LA if you want to be an actor, like New York if you want to like kind of
if you want to get in the dance scene.
yeah. So like you go like a lot of people go there to try to like figure it out and like make something happen with it. So it was definitely like a trial period. I mainly just had a bunch of fun, but like it was definitely like good for the label, and like
Yeah.
I met a shit ton of like really incredible friends that I still like called my best friends now.
Of course.
So.
I bet you got some crazy stories too.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you can say anything on air, but
yeah, I don't know if it's like safe for a podcast, but like, I mean, just like the clubs there stay open for like 3 days, so like that was like the shit.
3 days.
Like they would open on Friday and close on Monday.
So are people there the whole time?
The whole time.
What
Some
the
people,
fuck?
It's fucked up.
Do you sleep there, or you just like? You gotta be on some kind of drugs for that.
Sure. Well, like in this, yeah, there's like some clubs they'll have like cafes and like, I mean, the city's built up to run 24/7. Built like to run 24/7. So like, you can go to like a restaurant at 5 a.m. and get gnocchi and like literally like it'll
sold.
be open like.
Yeah.
Everyone's just up and awake on weekends and like weekdays sometimes. Like it's in the summer there it's like 24/7 no matter what. It's incredible.
Crazy.
And like there's just also so much culture from all over the world that goes there. Like like I didn't even like speak German really. I just like got around by speaking English because so many other people from around the world
English.
went there. So
Yeah.
like the most common language was English at the end of the day. So like you were kicking it with Australians or British people or Italians, Germans, like French people. So it's like all these types of different people just like come to kick it. A lot of Chinese, Japanese, like it's crazy, dude. It was dope. I mean,
that's a big melting pot.
it's literally just like the biggest melting pot I think in the world right now, probably. Just
Berlin,
like,
really?
Just like young people trying to move and just figure out, because it's also like the cheapest place in the world to live as
Is
an
it
artist.
really?
For sure. My rent was like $400 a month. And in like in the middle of the city with a living room,
insane.
a bedroom, a kitchen.
That's like a third of what I'm paying right
I was
now.
like killing it, and I was in the middle of the city,
Yeah.
chilling, and like I would have to do like 2 jobs a month and figure it out, and that was it. For
That's
rent.
so light. So were you DJing out there?
Yeah, and I ended up like helped at a bar, and like it was like I would like bar back a couple nights.
That must have been so much fun.
It was incredible. And I lost
Yeah.
my visa, and then I had to come back.
Oh, so you would have stayed out there though? You think?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was like the plan. But I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because I still have a lot of friends out there now that are just like, because as amazing as Berlin is, you start going through the motions. You know,
Yeah.
you start like
It's gotta be draining
It's
too.
just kind of like you're waiting for the weekend, or like waiting for the next like party or like friends dinner, or like you're just kind of always like waiting for like the next like social thing to go to, rather than just like kind of working on yourself and your career,
which is so important.
It's important for mental health. I mean, there's some people that are, you know, that can do that and be cool, like that's their life, you know. I know a lot of people that are like, you would meet people, they're like, yeah, I came here for one summer and that was in 2006, and I was like, okay. So you've been here like unwillingly for like, you know, fucking 13 years. Like that's crazy.
That is fucking nuts.
It's gnarly, dude.
Yeah, that's insane, man. So after Berlin, did you come back to LA, or so your visa was up?
I came back to Philly.
So you went back to Philly.
Because I still had my apartment in Philly. Because Philly is also extremely cheap. Our rent was like $450, and we lived in a 2,500 square foot like warehouse loft. It was sweet.
So you were living in the warehouse in Philly.
And, I mean that
And in
was
Chicago.
my vibe. Like, that was because you had so much space, but it was just like a little weird at times.
So you'd
like,
live in a warehouse. So you'd rent out a warehouse and then throw parties in that warehouse to like cover the rent.
So like there's usually like buildings that are like like in Philly it was the Burke's warehouse, in Chicago it was Lilu, and like all these spaces that like have been like passed down from like artists and like artist types. So like you would move in and you would have like a floor basically. So like it is technically lived in.
Yeah.
Like you can live in there.
Yeah.
But like in Chicago we didn't have air conditioning or heating. In
No
Philly,
heating?
no, but I didn't.
In Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, we got room heater. It was crazy.
That's
but
sick.
in Philly, we didn't have Wi-Fi for like a year. Like it was just like shit like that. But like it also wasn't. It wasn't a time where we needed all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So like
You were content.
It just worked out. Yeah. It was. That's why I look back on it and I'm like extremely glad that happened. It happened, and now I'm, you know, a little different.
It's crazy for you. LA is like grounding almost. For most people, it's like the opposite, you know?
Yeah.
Because you seem like LA, you're like, whew,
yeah, LA was my like breather.
I can breathe.
For sure, without a doubt.
It's crazy. That's the opposite for most people, you know?
Well, because most people try to move here and they try to make it.
Yeah.
They try to make something happen, and I don't think, in my opinion, LA isn't really the place to make something like that happen from ground zero.
Yeah.
I think that if you wanna make something important in any field, doesn't really matter what it is, and you're coming here as like someone that didn't grow up here or lived here, people like that have been here for years or that grew up here will look at that person and be like, oh, what are you bringing from your area? Yeah. And like they want it, like I feel like it would feel more important if like someone was coming from like Kansas City and they like brought something like cool in music or acting from that area. Yeah. And it made it like more authentic or organic rather than being like, I'm going to come here and I'm going to walk down like fucking Sunset and be like, I'm going to dress like that dude. Oh, no. I'm going to dress like that dude now. Oh, I'm going to get that kid's haircut. Yeah. Like, that makes me feel bummed about the city, but like I feel like we've been dealing with that forever.
I totally feel that too. Like might be a little random, but I was just reading Anthony Kiedis' book, the Red Hot Shop. We were talking before. I love the Chili Peppers. He's their lead singer, and he's like the kids in high school used to make all this fucking nuts. Like I had a mullet before anybody had a mullet, and like to me that shit is so cool, bro.
That's tight. Like so sick. Like, but that's because like he was. I mean, Anthony Kiedis is like a fucking pioneer in his own. Yeah. Like he literally created a lane that has never existed.
Bro, he can't even sing.
No.
It's the crazy part.
You know what was the most iconic music video ever? I can't remember the name of the track, but it was when they're on the roof of that building in Venice.
Rain Dance Maggie.
Yes. Yeah. The roof of that building in Venice, and Flea is up there just like freaking out. And like you can tell it was, now looking back, I'm like, oh, like that was definitely staged. But when I was like 12, I watched that video. I was like, dude, they just went on a roof in Venice and fucking jammed out. Like, that's so sick.
Or when they wore socks on their dicks. That's it.
Epic, dude.
The first time they did that was at a strip club. They were performing. How funny is that?
So epic.
Like, it's just shit like that. Like, you gotta bring yourself to whatever you're trying to do.
If you're trying to be like someone that's like comparable to a Red Hot Chili Peppers or like a fucking Led Zeppelin, like someone that like created their own
pioneers,
world, their own lane, like you can't come and jack shit from like wherever you move to.
No.
Like that's why at the end of Berlin I was like, I don't really feel like because I met a bunch of Berliners and I was like, oh, like I'll never be one of y'all. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
And like that was like, okay, like maybe it is a good thing that I'm going back. Like, like chilling on that, because I'll never be a kid that was born in like Kreuzberg and like
right. Like, exactly. But you shouldn't try to be either.
No, but I definitely tried to be in the beginning because you want to fit in.
Of course, bro.
So you can't get mad. You can't get mad at people. You can't.
And I feel that too. Like I've been there too. Like when the fucking original Yeezy 350s drop, I was like, I need those.
Oh my god, bro, those shoes are so ugly.
Bad. I know. I realize that now.
In my opinion, all of the Yeezy, like literally, I haven't seen one that I'm like, I fuck with those heavy.
I don't know if I can agree with you there, but like I literally.
Which ones do you like?
I love the fucking the original Nike ones, the Solar Reds.
Oh yeah. Okay. Those are you mean the Red Octobers or whatever?
They're like a different colorway of those. Yeah.
Okay, I like those.
Right?
Ones. Okay. I'm talking about the new era of like the pastel color. Like,
it's
moon boot.
It's played out. Vibe. I would like get them and like work out in them types. I'm not. But bro, I got a pair.
Think it's like the clientele that they advertised to is the main reason I'm not a fan.
It's so tough to see like a dude in some Yeezys rip knee slit jeans with like a drop tee. I'm like, I can
from like H&M.
I cannot.
Dude, that is,
you're not yourself at all. Maybe I'm hating a bit, but like I was there. Like that was me at one point. It's like back in like 2014. I thought I was so cool when I had like Yeezys.
Well, it was definitely that was definitely like an Instagrammable period where people were.
That's just not.
We should put Khalil in that fit for Halloween or something.
Oh my god,
that would be fire.
Oh my god, we need him in that.
We do.
He would look so uncomfortable.
You would be so upset.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
That shit would be fucking funny. What are you being for Halloween?
I don't know, but we're throwing a party at the Magic Castle. You should come.
I'm there.
You want to come?
Yes.
Sick.
Bro, I need to come to one of your events for sure.
Yeah, we're doing like a costume dance party at this back room at Magic Castle.
Are you DJing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah. No, see, like it's like it's like stuff like I'll do parties with yeah, like with my friend Rick Trainer, he's like an incredible DJ. He runs a party called Things You Say, and he just like he throws like kind of like out of the box parties. Like we did a party in like an old hair salon on Sunset a couple months ago, which was like fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like there was like crazy like mirrors on the walls, like there's like different levels, but it was like a hair salon, so like people were chilling in like the salon chairs and stuff. It was crazy, but like stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like that's something that I could get into. And also like
For sure.
He's like a little more financially conscious when throwing a rave. I'm just like I want like the coolest person playing music. I want the biggest sound system, and like we're gonna charge $10 and we're gonna let like all the LGBTQ people in for free. Like that's my vibe for it. I'm like, I just want to support the scene.
Yeah.
But like that's also how you lose thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's like you're like, okay, Rick is a good middleman where he's like, yo, that's not how you do the next party.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
That's good. Somebody be there like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm just trying to put on
more of like an economic kind of look on it.
Yeah, I'm more of a
Financial
cultural look. I feel like that's what I'm trying to do.
So, but like the warehouse parties, those aren't illegal, are they?
Nah,
like how do you
illegal as
plan
hell.
those?
No, they're like not. You can't do that. You can't sell. Well, you can't sell liquor without a liquor license. You can't.
So you're selling liquor at those too?
There's full bars,
bro.
Yeah, there's full bar. That's how you make most of the money.
So how do you like plan all that? How do you get by like that?
You just hire teams. Like I was like, the first party I threw in LA, I was like 20, and I hired like 4 different teams. I had like my sound guy, I had my security. I'd get to rent porta potties because we did it in a fucking parking lot. We had tents.
So
we
do
had
you
our
rent out
bar
the parking
staff.
lot?
You have a relationship with the owner. So I had a relationship with this owner in downtown, and we just did it there.
And like,
And
do
that
you
was
have
the
to pay
first-
him or anything? Like,
No, yeah, there's a fee.
but he's cool
Yeah.
with like.
There's people throughout LA. There's a bunch of people that are like, you can do whatever you want here for a night for $500.
That's crazy. And the cops just like don't. People don't.
I mean,
call
if it's on
anything?
Skid Row, like, yeah,
True.
yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like, we really have the cops pulled up to any of your like parties or anything?
Unfortunately, not one. Literally never once, except in Chicago. But
How'd you handle
Chicago's
that?
different.
Oh, they probably. Cause
They
curfew's
just shut it down.
It's 4 a.m. right? In Chicago?
It's 4 a.m., but we lived on a street that was like super busy. Like it was like a main shopping avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was like a restaurant across the street that stayed up until 2. So like, you know, there's people on the street while it's the middle of the party.
Yeah.
So, and like the windows were 2 stories up. It wasn't like you could hear it from like 3 blocks away. You know, it's not something that like is like you can disguise. It's like that's where the party is.
Damn.
Like it's easy for the cops to bust shit in Chicago because it's like everyone's on top of each other. But in LA, there's like, when's the last time you've gone to Skid Row like before midnight?
Never.
Yeah.
No.
But I go there like
To
after
Skid
midnight.
Row? Like you be having parties at Skid Row?
Dude, that's where most of them are. That's where the most of the warehouse scene is in LA.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Does that sound a little dangerous? Like
Not at nighttime. In the
fucking-
daytime for sure. Have you ever been to Skid Row in the daytime?
Yeah, I have.
It's
Yeah.
fucked up.
I've never been there at nighttime though, so I wouldn't.
Nighttime
I wouldn't
is
know.
dead.
Yeah.
Dead. It's a ghost town. Everyone's asleep.
Huh. That's actually so smart. I never thought about that.
I mean, it's been going on for a while. It's
Yeah.
been happening for way longer. Like I remember when I was in middle of high school, we tried to go to them, but like they were definitely a little bit more like secretive about who they would let in. So like you would buy a ticket online through like a resident advisor or like a Restless Nights kind of like promoter page, and then you would get an address. You go to an address in the middle of a parking lot. It would be like an old dude at a U-Haul truck, and he'd give you a slip of paper, and you're like, oh, there's another address. And you go to that address, and then there's like another dude with like that was like, all right, yeah, okay, like what party are you trying to go to? And then you're like, oh, I'm trying to see this dude, blah blah blah. And then he's like, okay, go walk 2 blocks down and take a left. And then you'd be at the party.
That's so discreet.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore.
Nah, now now it's really easy to go to these types of events. But I mean, because I think the vibe is worse a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's more like broy, I would say. Some of the parties can get broy, which sucks. But it's just kind of like how.
Yeah, it does not seem like your vibe at all.
No,
not mine either. Like,
yeah, no,
but
but like it definitely, some of the parties have gotten like people from like fucking, I don't know, UCLA will go or something, because they're like, oh, like let's go to some rave.
Even SC, when I was at SC, people were going to those
for sure. Yeah, you know what I mean, like stuff like
the type of people I would not want to see out there.
No, like they're like, let's go like do a bunch of drugs, and, like, bring girls and get fucked up. Like that's not what it's about, really. And like, so like it's gotten more difficult to keep it like that. But I mean, I've stepped back from it, but it's, it's still going on.
Yeah. That's great. So you're working at Interscope now, right? Is that like your day job, and then, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's definitely been more recently of my like 24/7 job. I started in publicity about like a year and a half ago, and I was doing like marketing and publicity for a while, and then I never was really like I feel like I could give my full like skill set to marketing. I wasn't really good at like coming up with ideas for like a marketing plan and like rolling out like how a project would come out. Like especially like I was working under the urban side, and I just didn't really know how to like capitalize on like internet trends and like stuff like that. So there was a change in our department head, Dennis Dennehy, who's like probably one of the coolest fucking people I've ever met. I swear to God. Like when I came back here, a friend of mine at Milk Studios, I was actually still living in Philly. How I got the job, she hit me up. She's like, yo, your name came up. Do you want to go interview for a job at Interscope? I'm like, fuck no, dude. Some major label.
Yeah.
Like I was like, nah. But like, is it this weekend? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be back for my brother's high school graduation.
Yeah, might as well.
So I came back, and I met this dude, and he was like, I literally walked into his office, and he was like blasting Fugazi, which is like my favorite DC punk band from like the 90s. And he had a Bad Brains poster, which is the old drummer, HR, in Fugazi. So I was like, okay, this dude's honest. Like I was like, this dude's like
these are my people.
No, I was like, this dude like knows like cool shit, rather than being like what would you do for Selena Gomez if she posted this on Instagram?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, so I was like, okay, cool. Like there's something here that I could work with. And then one of my mentors there, Ray Alba, who's still there and fucking incredible publicist, but I was working for him for a while, and then when Dennis left, he went to another company. I felt like it was like a good time for me to transition to like a more of like a creative role. So I moved to A&R, and I've been doing that like for 6 months.
And what exactly is that? We were talking about that a bit before, but
A&R is
what does that stand for again?
Artist and repertoire.
Artist and repertoire.
So it's kind of like basically what I do mainly is like research and like scouting and development. So we'll like go, and artists will get pitched to us sometimes, and sometimes we'll have to go out and find them, or we'll find them online if something's happening with them. And it's mainly just like finding and like seeing like what could work for the label.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you're doing for your label, right?
Yeah,
like
but
anyways,
they're complete. I feel like they're completely different tasks. Where for dance music, it really relies on the music at hand rather than the artist itself. And Interscope, since it's like it's more of a pop and urban label.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Really,
actually.
it's forward facing music. So like I think for dance music, there's a specific ear rather than like a major label needs like definitely an ear, but also an entire package, like the team, like what the artist looks like,
for sure,
like what their vibe is, like their personality, their character.
So do you like doing that? Because those are two like totally different things.
I mean, I love it. It's like,
that's amazing.
Like I taking like artist meetings and just like being able to like possibly and like work on like an artist project and like get them to the next step is like fucking cool. I mean, I was doing that before, so I mean, it just kind of worked out. It's just at a bigger scale, I guess now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, bro. So, I mean, we got to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
It's done damn near an hour now.
Yeah. Damn, really?
Yeah, that's what everybody's. Isn't that crazy how quick it goes? Just
That's
like,
fire.
I know. It's been good. But, yeah, so last question. I kind of asked everybody this, but like 5-10 years, like where do you see yourself being? Where, like, your happiness? Like, what do you want to be doing? Working on the label?
I mean, definitely still working on label
Still
stuff.
DJing? Or are you going to be totally...
I'll probably still DJ.
Little
like,
celebrity
DJing,
set?
I don't want to, like, DJing before was, like, a real focus and, like, something that I was like, all right, I want to fucking do this all full time. Now it's more of just, like, a fun thing.
Yeah.
And, like, something I can do and I know I'm good at. And, like, I just...
So what
like,
took you away from that, though? Like, what made you realize, like, oh, I don't really want to be doing this full time?
I think just like the lifestyle around it. I couldn't travel. I whenever I started getting booked to go out of town, I didn't like partying on the road. I didn't like traveling the next morning, getting on flight. Like I hated it.
Yeah.
It sucked. Yeah. I just realized the first time I had to do like a small like Canada tour, and I did like Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, and New York all in one weekend. And it was like
in one weekend?
Yeah, it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was like after and I came home and I remember thinking, I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm good.
That'll wear on you for sure.
And but I remember I mean, I see other artists that like I've become friends with that DJ every single night, every other night throughout the entire summer. Because the summer circuit's crazy, and it just
that's a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't it for me.
Yeah, man. Like, didn't he
That's basically like he just got like crazy, like I don't know, anxiety and just kind of
that shit was so
hated
sad.
it. Yeah, it's insane, man. I mean, that happens. So like, you're basically working someone to the fucking brim until they break because it's like their time right now. And you're like, if you don't gig every fucking second, you're fucked. You know? So yeah, it just wasn't for me. And then I kind of figured out a way where I could like be at home but still be in it.
Yeah,
you know?
And you seem to have a great balance on that right now. It's just, but my bad, we got a little off topic there. I took you off. Like 10 years, like where do you want to?
10 years, I think I still want to be here. I want to be in LA, and I just want to have a house with my girlfriend and fucking chill. Like I'm like
simple,
chilling. Yeah, like I'm like want to be retired by not when I'm 10 years, but like retired when I'm like I want to like make it there kind of thing. But like definitely still travel, but like retired like 30-40 years, but in LA.
Amazing. My dog, thanks for coming, bro.
Of course, man.
Appreciate you.
Of course.
We'll get you on again if, shit starts popping off. You want to come back.
Give me like 5 years.
Talk some shit. 5 years, 5 months, whatever, bro. Thanks for coming, dog. Appreciate you.
All right, cool.